that a friend of mine, I'm not gonna put him on blast just because it's just about the joke more than it's about the name. He says, he is a manager. He said, you know what I hate about artists? They take 80% of my money.
Wow.
And the other joke they had is, what would we do if artists figured out their own distribution? And the punchline is, we'd have to kill them. So I'll be surprised that I'm still alive.
Alrighty. Big boy here. This, I've been waiting for this one. And I think the world's been waiting on this one, man. It's great to come together, sit down. Ty Dolla $ign, welcome. Ye, welcome. Vultures. First off, man, there is no rhythm to this, man. There's no choreography. I just want to sit and I just want to talk. We haven't had a chance to sit down, especially like this, if ever, with us together. But we haven't had a chance to even sit down individually for a while. First off, man, when we think about Vultures 1, Vultures 2, and we understand that's Vultures 3 as well, what exactly is Vultures? Like, we got our own perception. What does Vultures mean to Ye and to Ty Dolla $ign?
Sure, Vultures is us as a group. It's the #1 album in the world.
Say that again.
Number one album in the world. #1 single. We've been talking about doing an album for a long time. And last year I went by his birthday party. And we talked about just getting in the studio. And I went out to Japan. I had a show out there. He was out there at the same time. I came at him like, yo, I want you to executive produce my album. We ended up doing the song that we got called Burn. And it was like, fuck it, let's just do a whole thing, you know?
But you know,
now
when
we're here.
You get that in crossing where, and not that a lot of artists say that to each other, oh, we need to work together, we need to work together. You get those kind of things.
Yeah.
But you guys are no strangers with working with each other anyway when it comes to Ye and Ty Dolla $ign. When you think about a body of music, and not just one body of music, that you guys could create so much together that y'all can say, we're not just doing one, we're not just doing two, we're doing three.
Yeah.
So when you guys come together and you say, I want you to executive produce the album, or y'all really think we could put something together, at the moment, Ye, how realistic is that to you with how busy the world is? We think we want to see something, but we don't know if we're really going to see it. How did that come across to you when you say, you know what, let's stop the world and let's work on this?
You know, Ty made it where I was able to make music because he just didn't bring none of the music industry bullshit to the table. It's just a lot of, sometimes I feel like people get into music because they don't want to have to actually work. Like even when we did Donda, I had people show up at 8 a.m. because I thought like when people are in the league, they gotta show up. They gotta work no matter how famous they are, no matter how much money they get. But music is something where, you know, we'll be working at 3 a.m. or sleeping in, and you know, I got to a point where I was, you know, recalibrating my whole life, frustrated with a lot of the positions I've been in, and you know, my focus over the past year and a half was the music and then the clothing, mostly the shoes. So I put everything I had left into both of those, in both of those channels, and they end up supporting each other at the same time. But Ty, you know, even like how like Mike Dean didn't work on this project. Mike Dean was the kind of person that you could hand him something and he'll hand you a finished product back that you could decide, I like this, I like that. That's like how Ty, you can give him something, even like just a murmur of something. He could bring it back with the words. He can fix all the notes on it. He could bring the you know, the drums, the music. But more than anything on this project, you know, he brought himself as someone who stood beside me when a million people told him to not stand beside me. And he also brought hit records. Like, you know, people, we've had this joke like, oh man, this is Jay's first #1 hit in 17 years. And this is Ty's first #1 hit in 2 years.
Right, yeah. But we've seen a lot of really a lot of number ones for other artists when it comes to Vultures. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, Ty, if you hear what we say on air, but I don't think people understand how talented you are and how you can get in there and pretty much do everything in the studio with your eyes closed, and you know what I'm saying, and bring in an orchestra, and we think that it's just one sound, but you're really orchestrating this musical ensemble and working hard, and people don't get a chance to really see that. We hear it, but we don't know what goes into it.
So you better ask somebody.
Yeah, and if you don't ask, sometimes you got to tell people what you do and how great you do the things that you do. Because sometimes it sounds so not simple, but so beautiful to us that we don't understand what goes into it. You know what I'm saying? The blood, sweat, and the real tears that go into making a project such as this.
And the anointing, his, like you said, talent is like on some Prince. Like he can do what other people can do, and other people can't do what he could do. Like I can't play instruments.
Right.
I can't halfway even sing. You know what
you do? You know what I'm saying?
That's called confidence. That's talent. This is called delusion.
Hey man, but
You be singing though.
yeah, and the thing about it, man, is not only do you sing, you get a whole crowd to sing with you. And the one thing that we do know is that when we hear you, we know it's you. You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference between, well, when you can put your own imprint into something and people know exactly what it is, then you have created something that's dear to us, you know? And so when we look at music, bro, when we say music is a soundtrack to our lives, my daughter is 15 years of age, right? This Vultures 1, and I told her, I said 2 is ridiculous, because I've heard 2. This is a soundtrack to her life. And there's decades between our births, but there's something in that music that brings us together. No matter how much clutter is going on outside, there's a safe zone or something that's in music that and especially what you guys created, and the people that y'all brought to the table, that I felt like, it's so cliche and easy to say, oh man, we were missing this, but we were missing this. Did you guys feel like, not that y'all feeling in a void, but we needed this Vultures, or we needed this collaboration, and not egotistically?
Well, you said to not speak egotistically, so I'm not gonna talk.
Right. Well, speak egotistically.
We definitely needed it. And yeah, I could play all the instruments, I could put all the stuff together, but come, you know, in the studio with him, it was like taking it to a whole nother level, picking them parts. I'll come with a song, for instance, and the song will be fully done as far as I'm concerned. He come back, man, change that shit like 20 times.
Yeah, no, not
and
yet.
like it go from like a dance music song to Back to Me. Like if you would have heard the first Back to Me, it was like completely different. He took my song, put it in the ASR 10, which is a keyboard with a sampler, slowed it down, rocked the sample like that. Then that was in Japan. Then we get to Italy, we play it again, we got some words to it. Then we going through some drums, he picked a whole different thing. I'm like thinking it's not it. All of a sudden it's crazy. So
yeah, it does get worse before it gets better. It's like when girls have like plastic surgery like that, when they get like the BBL, they gotta like drive in the car and like they kind of like
sit on pads, hurting each other.
No, they can't even sit on pad and stuff. They definitely can't get on Spirit. They gotta.
Yes, sir.
So it get that like that moment right there. But then waking up, is she gorgeous? I'm like, you know, I be like tell Ty like a song like the BBL's almost ready.
Right.
It's almost ready for the summer.
Does he say that to you? Like, do y'all also not only compliment each other, can you tell each other what's not working? And can you put Ye back in the booth?
Oh,
and
sure.
can Ye put you back in?
I tried to remove the cursing a bunch of times, and he was like, I was like, oh, what do you think? At the last one, I'm like, what do you think we make this thing all clean? He's like,
No.
Not this
What
one.
is the difference though when you hear, and music is like life, you know what I'm saying? And life, you're kind of like this, you know what I'm saying? And some people try to put you into a yesterday mode. You know, at one point, we hear, and this is all you. We hear, you know, Jesus is king. We hear this, but that's all you. Then there's sometimes you just want to say, man, not fuck it, but you just want to say, man, this is what I'm feeling right now. Are you in that space where you're comfortable enough to say, this is where I am right now? I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is Vultures right now. This is where I am.
It is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, you know, people, Christians, we're depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification, after the Harlem Renaissance and Black Wall Street was burned to the ground. Them prayers ain't working. We have to apply actual physical building partnerships, and it don't start unless we could really be real with each other and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. Like, I mean, look at this. I know I'm not gonna third rail y'all interview, but look at the power of what happened when me and Kyrie was on the same page. See, that's what's scary. But what they do is they put us each in a silo and say, your grandmother gonna lose her crib, and this gonna, you know how many threats we've been dealt with? And I didn't pray my way through them threats either. I had to get up and do it myself. I had so much to do, I ain't had time to pray. So that's where my issue is. And look at where I'm at today.
Show up.
Show up, you know what I'm saying? I understand that that's a controversial.
No, we gotta speak.
But I
on it
dropped
too,
the con.
No, we got, and that's just real life too, bro.
Yeah.
The one thing that I wanted to, when we did get a chance to sit down, bro, is, you know, I didn't want to do a thing where, oh, we gotta hold back, and I don't even want this to feel like it's an interview. When we got together, bro, I said, man, I just want to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you have a conversation, you'll walk away and you'll say, okay, yeah, we hit some hard shit with that conversation.
Yeah.
Some things I agree with, some things I don't, whatever it may be, but you got to have that conversation. And not only are we talking about music, but we're three men here with families. We're three men here with obligations, responsibilities, and that is some of the stuff that we do supersedes our entertainment.
Yeah, like I had a responsibility to all the people that were stealing from me.
Speak on it.
Like, I'm responsible.
Family members,
Yeah.
all that. Gotta learn to deal with the pain and keep going.
Is music where you are right now, Ye? Do you enjoy music where you are right now?
Yeah, I love the art of it. There's songs like Do It. I love the song, and I hadn't loved a song like that at that tempo since Back That Thing Up. So that's what made me think. I was like, man, I love Juvenile and Manny Fresh and Cash Money. Like, this is like, they used to be playing like house music and hip hop music in the club, and like me and my guys would come in and make them play Cash Money. Whoa, Kimo Sabe, big ballin' is my hobby. Like, and like Juvenile, the Hob video, and just the 400 Degrees album, and, you know, just leaning into things. I believe the music came across because I leaned into things that I like when I liked what I liked and shit. You know, whether it was like looking at pornography or listening to Juvenile or buying my first chain from Jacob or wherever I got it. And I had a real chain, but then I had like a fake rollie and fake earring, but I had to get the kit because the All-Star game was coming up. I couldn't go with just a chain.
We gotta have a costume. You know what I'm saying?
I had to and I had to get the Range Rover 4.0 and try to cover the O and make it a 6 because Jay-Z had like wiped that out. But all of these subjects, you know, I remember sitting with North in Italy and playing her back to me and asking her, you know, what do you think about this line in the middle of the song? And I was like, do you think I should change this? And she's like, you know, it's a good song. Sometimes I feel like my mom speaks through her.
Wow.
So I'm like, she's like, it's a good song. This is just a banger. Like, you gotta say what you feel. You know, a lot of times when you go into the whole Jesus, devout, Paul level, fell off a donkey level religious, you have thoughts in your mind and that you hiding them from yourself. And then you sitting there and the whole choir is fucking, y'all singing about not fucking. Like, the niggas is stealing from you from the church. And it's like, man, like, I swear it's just, you can only see what's immediately in front of you. Like when they say Delulu, it's like, we lean on a lot of delusional concepts, and then it's just actual real concepts. Like say, like, you know, a big topic right now is, are we gonna sell the album? And the concept that, you know, the streaming companies have made a deal with the people that were in ownership of our contract and decided to give us, you know, a percentage of a penny. Mm-hmm. And people aren't getting paid properly, and you got people that are fans saying, oh, you know, I don't have the money for this, I don't have that. We used to just getting it for free, so they've lowered the value of what we do and what we make. Like our music, part of the reason why it's so much better is, like, obviously you got super mega talents, but it costs a lot to make this album too. We was in Saudi, Italy, flights, car service, strippers, you know, it was expensive.
That. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you feel like, how will the album go out? You know what I'm saying?
You mean
like,
the next ones?
Yeah.
You know, we talked about like how a movie, like Dune, we went to go see Dune, and they'll keep that movie a month, 2 months before it goes to a Disney, streaming, Netflix, Hulu, or something like that. With our music, they acting like this ain't even luxury, like it don't deserve to have this moment where people who truly appreciate, the people come out to the theater, the people who, you know, talk about every line and want to hear it and see the, you know, see the listening sessions, those early adopters, like, it's just supposed to be like, just free. Like, even like, here's an example. Somebody I was working with put the album for $5 on my site. Everyone know my site at Yeezy.com is $20 for everything.
Right.
Then my album, like, this album costs millions of dollars to make, hardship, overcoming like personal threats to everyone that was on it. Like, people was threatening our lives, threatening our well-being, and actually not even playing with the money, canceling bank accounts. I got cousins whose Chase accounts got fired. This is real Black Mirror things that happen. So when it went #1, you know, I called it for people I know, like, yo, do you think Universal was capping my last albums ever since the Taylor Swift moment? And no one could deny that was happening.
Like, not showing real numbers and the power.
Just limiting, turn it down, turn that boy down. That boy that went on stage and said Beyonce had the best video, turn that down. All the Lights is like number 28. All the Lights is a runaway. You know, Niggas in Paris was not a #1 record.
What do you think when people say that can't happen?
What can't
like,
happen?
Oh, no, that's too big. That's a conspiracy. Like, people, like what you're saying right now, there's probably somebody that think, nah, that can't happen. But it can happen.
For sure it can happen.
And it does happen.
And it
did happen.
My whole thing, it'd be in front of y'all face. That's what I like. When people drop this mental health shit, it makes it seem like, oh, it's like your family member that's seeing ghosts and y'all can't see it. What I love the most is y'all seen multiple ghosts. Y'all seen the ghost of, wow, they froze his accounts. Y'all seeing the ghost of, wow, they're selling his shoes against his will with his name on it. Y'all seeing the ghost of, wow, that man went independent and went #1. These these are a lot of like myths.
And then when the album came out, it's like they kept on taking it down, if you didn't notice.
Yeah, yeah.
And it went back up. And then it's like when Carnival's #1 on Spotify, #1 on Apple, #1 on everything, something else went #1 on Billboard, you know?
Yeah.
And it took a while for that, but now we're #1 on everything. So
Yeah. You can't, and you
There's one.
can't deny it, bro. How do you not beat your brain up knowing that that if you're working and then you feel like something's not right here. There's a machine that's trying to suppress or hold it down. Like, how does that feel? Not even just as an artist, bro, as a person that's like really putting music out there and really that's really talented. And when you hand something up to somebody, you did your work. Now it's up to these other services or somebody to pick up and put the same passion in as you.
I feel like you just
Is
gotta
that
figure
another
out-
reason to just say, man, straight to our fan base?
Yeah.
And you know, just look at I'm just talk billionaire math.
Oh, I'm gonna leave. No, go ahead.
You know, it's like billionaires, they just didn't accept the indoctrination from school that makes you overthink stuff. Stuff is right in front of you. I looked at the math. When I went to Adidas, they wasn't giving me a percentage at Nike. I went to Adidas, I looked at that math. Now I'm looking at just the conversion rates. Like we dropped the pods at $200 right before Christmas, and we got like 3,000 sales, and between the merch maybe made $1 million that one day on that website, which is low for the amount of sales and the audience that we had with the Yeezys. So then I always had this vision of doing everything $20. It's like my grandfather jumped through my body because he used to take me to the flea market when I was young, when I was lower than the table, and he had his house and he had his store across the lawn on the same property, and he had his Cadillac in the driveway, and he would go and teach me how to hustle and say, you know, and then go to stores in Chicago. You go to stores selling everything, some baby dolls, some toys, some fireworks, some other, like just whatever someone might need, like a Home
it's
Depot
right
or
there.
QVC kind of thing. But it's his job as a merchant to do that. So it's like that merchant is inside of me. That's why I always think of all kind of products, from like house to shoes to the music, or like even when I was dealing with Balenciaga and Gap, there's times with the deal where it's just like grandfather just hopping through the phone, like speaking on my behalf, like what will my grandfather do in this situation? I got the head designer of Balenciaga doing Gap. So in this situation where, I mean, Apple, you know, I ain't never met with Tim Cook. They always send Larry Jackson or Eddie Q or Ebro to come talk to you and so, and I'm like, bro, I'm Steve. How I ain't gonna meet with, I'm the new Steve. How I'm not gonna meet with Tim Cook? You was employed to Steve. I'm Steve. So, and of this music game, I am, but not under Lucian. You're saying I done invented every style of music of the past 20 years. I created the genre. I created weekend genre, Trav, Drake. You know, I'm going ahead and say, with all love, Future and Thug also, because the Auto-Tune album. 808s, if you think about it, no one
808s
think about it.
and
Everybody think about Trav, Weekend, and Drake, but no one thinks about Future and Thug also, the Auto-Tune album. Now, everyone, they added what it was to it, but here's a new genre. It's called making your own money genre. And this music is called, like, take that middleman out, because they ain't giving us money, they giving us acknowledgement. I don't want your acknowledgement. And I went so far past any level of acknowledgement. You know, I was banished, I was exiled, I was canceled multiple times. So what, I done had like my kids not show up to Sunday service right in front of everybody, and you know what I mean? Like I'm crying to see my daughter, and all of the usual suspects, the handlers, Dave Chappelle, Meek Mills, Diddy, all these people aren't in position. Now for us as celebrities, they gotta call and put a leash on them. What we gonna do with Ye? He delusional, that's the best. Dave, give him a call. Diddy, give him a call. Tell him we ain't like the t-shirt. Tell him like right now the agenda is, this is the voting agenda for the celebrities, for the black. Make them do exactly what LeBron would do. Make them do exactly what Drake would do. And y'all know Y'all know my stance on this. I want to say something about the number one. What's so good is the fuck you of it.
Yeah.
And for everybody that's working at a normal ass job, like a fast food restaurant, or somebody girlfriend done left them for some nigga with more money or whatever the fuck it is, all nigga want to do is just like pull up in that so they can pull up right in front of this bitch and be like, fuck you. Now I just pulled up on everybody from last year cancellation, like, fuck all you niggas, fuck you, fuck your mom, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Hey man, was that where the social media, I don't know if it was it a tweet that you had put up?
What's that?
With the fuck yous. Was that like, is that what you're speaking on when you say, man, I was pulled this way, I was shut down, I was denied, and it feels good to inhale to just say, fuck you.
Yes,
fuck you. Fuck y'all.
That's what people don't know. That's the exhale.
Right.
The exhale ain't like, I would like to thank, I ain't thankful. It's fuck everyone about this bitch. Like, can't nobody tell me shit. La.
Wait till and you got the money, right?
You know what's so cool about that? Because niggas like Aiden Ross had to apologize. Nigga, I was like 2 months from bankruptcy, from like hundreds of millions of dollars, just getting like raped, Michael Jacksoned by like, the people around, like how people was taking Mike's money, Michael Tyson, Michael Jackson, celebrities, Prince, whatever and shit. People, you got new employees, you got all that, and we cleaning all them employees up, doing industry standards, industry rates, got my Shopify account right, then said, boom, we're gonna do this $20. Then we did the Super Bowl. And the fact that I was able to show factual $19.3 million of sale in one day, the next day is 15 million, the next day was 11 million, but in one day, at the same time when the music was coming out. This was just us and the people at the end of the day. But even with the streams, it's like, on one end you'd be like, it's like, stay away from the lie, because, oh, we're number one. We had streams. How many niggas went number one and never made $1 billion? Drake still ain't made $1 billion. This is as big as our Bad Bunny. They not gonna set that man Bad Bunny up to make $1 billion. They're gonna give him the same pack that they gave Drake, that Lucian pack, whatever it is. Everybody that does music, maybe this is not a outside, but anyone in the music industry knows that Drake and Bad Bunny got that same, that push. We're gonna push this radio. We're gonna push this. We're gonna push that. And that pack was removed from me, ever since the Taylor Swift thing. So to hit this number one is such a fuck you, and people need to understand how valuable it is to be able to tell people. Fuck
and you did that. Y'all did that for you.
What did what?
The music, everything. That's for you. And sometimes when something comes with it, like even with my situations, right, radio, so on and so forth. Whatever I did to leave one and go to the other, it wasn't about elevating. It was about me doing my thing, and if a F you came with it, if a fuck you came with it, it came with it.
Man,
I wasn't out for, but I was
like, I don't want him to lose his job, but fuck that nigga at the gate that asked you for an ID. You the face of this shit.
Right.
You the face of this building. Big boy, can I see your ID? I said, nigga, that's why I hate America.
Right. Hey man, and when we pulled up, he was like, he asked you for your ID. I'm like,
he pulling you over like you a cop. Like every time a nigga had a nice car, nigga, what's the point of getting a car that go 160 miles per hour in Chicago when you got to drive even slower because they're gonna be constantly pulling you over for being in the car? You know what I'm saying? That's where we are, 2024 today. Now take this interview, as always, play this shit in 2034 and see was this shit factual.
Hey man, we sat down at one of your spots. And I showed you a video, and I said, I think this was from 10 years ago. And we were watching it live, and it was you talking about where you were going to be in 10 years from now, Jesus is king, and we're sitting there literally in that area, what you were talking about 10 years later. It was exactly what you said 10 years before.
Listen to me, bro. Even if I thought that shit sounded crazy as fuck, he made that shit happen. I remember it was like a couple New Year's ago. He called me like early in the morning, like, yo, we need to sing for God. We need to, start a whole da-da-da. Then the whole you know, Sunday service thing
yes, sir.
happened, and he was building these big ass domes in the backyard where you walking in, you go like this, and you're like crazy shit, just whatever comes to mind. Even like
And
the
didn't want to
stem
dime
player,
for
like
That's one of those STEM players. We got close. People be like, yo, this is like down to 2, and he gonna do this. It's like 3rd time's a charm. Like we did workout plan, up tempo. Then we did Addiction, second album, up tempo. Then 3rd time's a charm. My biggest album of my career is that. Don't never let nobody psych you out, man. Title's still up and running. At the end of the day, like when a black man came and said, I'm gonna do my own streaming network. I never seen Jay-Z so-called take a public L until he did that. Until he stepped out and said, this is what I'm gonna do now. They putting up like 80% of the fans won't buy the album. Are you sure? It's $20. I got 20 million Instagram followers, and that's cap. You know, it's like niggas walking around with 500 million. They ain't that much more famous than me. But if you just take the conversion rate, 5% of that 20 million would be 1 million records. Think about this. They be having, I don't play wax. No knock to the fans. It's beautiful to do, got the fuck Adidas record and everything, but I don't play records. I don't play CDs. So we be spending half our time as artists focused on the music, the other half trying to do the Trav and Taylor Swift numbers. What amount of work? And then Adele or whoever, they got a hand in the album this much early, and it's all for the accolades and numbers. It's not really adding up to real financial numbers, and it's not converting really the amount of fans they have. So say I get a 5% conversion rate on my Instagram followers, what's that gonna mean to Taylor Swift or somebody? What's that gonna mean to people with like 500 million in Instagram followers? You know what I'm saying? They try to pit me against Taylor Swift, me against whoever in the music industry, and it's like, yeah, get that man talking back and forth on the phone with Dave Chappelle. Get that man like making songs, sub songs to Drake. Get that man, say Taylor Swift kicked him out, or Shaq said this and that. I'm just like, man, I'm here for everybody in this lifetime. I feel like a lot of the shit that like the you-know-who's do with our contracts and shit just come from fear of losing control. And mugs just don't play fair. They put information in there, they pay off the lawyers, and they put you in a situation where you ain't gonna make no money from it. But now you got TikTok, you got streaming. Everyone's afraid of how they gonna still support their families. Right. And there's some kind of like simpler way through honesty, which is hard, but engineering to make, you know, people say you can't make everybody happy, but I've seen situations where a song makes everybody happy. I've seen, you know, water pipe, like LA, they got the LA river closed off and shit. That's the first thing. That's the first open up the river. But everybody here with a show of hands, it's like, wasn't there a time when we didn't have water? Then we got too much water? Then we had water. Like, it's like, but yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Ty, when kind of putting in reverse and rewind to what Ye just said about, you know, there's certain ways people get painted, there's certain things that happen. At any point, you know, did you feel, was anybody telling you like, man, don't do this album? Don't, you know, don't put your brand next to Ye. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
tell him what Mike Kaiser said.
But, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Because, like, and for real, where somebody, because I'm gonna keep it one. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 while with you guys as well.
They was telling free Ty Dolla the whole project.
There was a free Ty Dolla,
like let him out the.
My homies at the label was like,
really?
Let this man kidnap you, man. Free Ty Dolla. They all laughing and shit. And then my manager Manny told him like, yo, when that shit go #1, I want to see the same energy. You feel me?
Right.
Keep that same energy.
So,
Greg Coleman said he ain't had nothing to do with the project. People wasn't clearing samples. As to be expected. As to be,
right.
You know, I'm not saying it's like everything is like to be expected. You know?
Yeah, and you knew that it was going to be a hard road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure, you understood like, hey, bro, you know, you probably may get some things that you haven't gotten in your career. Not just the #1s. There's some beautiful accolades, but there's probably some things that you hadn't gotten in your career before being aligned, because there's always been work with you guys.
Yeah.
But when you align like that, like how you say, you heard, you know, free Ty Dolla, you know, were you ever concerned about it, but you did hear it.
Yeah, I wasn't tripping. I knew what I was doing. I knew what we was gonna do. And a lot of shit just be drama. People could tell you anything,
Right.
you know? People can have their own opinion off of what they think it is, but this is what it is. We number
Yeah.
one. Stop playing with us.
And you know it's a trip, man. And even real talk on my end. You know what I'm saying? Even just sitting down. People were like, you sure you want to do that? Like, I could sit down with you all day. We've sat down. But when they knew I was doing this, you do get people that'll say, man, you sure you want to do that? I'm like, man, I've known this dude for, what, 2 decades? Easy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And why wouldn't I do it? Why wouldn't
I can tell
sit
you
down?
why, because niggas is like, we're gonna take your money, we're gonna block you, we're gonna do this, we're gonna take your life. Like a lot of, like, my life has been through, I wake up every day just surprised to be alive. Like, because of how many threats I got from political to, you know, Twitter commentary to all that, just like going through, just be like, boom, I'm exposed because the first step to cleaning up something is like people be like, man, there's some smell. It just smell like that. It's like, have you checked under that couch? But nobody want to lift up that couch. And if you go to lift up the couch, the whole industry is like, stay away from that couch.
Yeah.
Do not. If you lift up that couch, that's going to be. We're going to call you anti-Semitic. If you lift up that couch, we're going to call you anti-Semitic. If you say, this is literally, you can read it. And, you know, this way y'all can do y'all edits, whatever y'all want to do. If you say that the lawyer is talking to the manager, is talking to the label, and all you are is a cow, like the meat packagers should come in and out. All you are is a supermodel showing up at the club and then bringing the celebrities around, like this the new models around. And when they get older, they bring in a new batch. That's who the artists are. You know, there's a joke. That's why I'd be like surprised I'm still alive. There's an industry joke. There's 2 jokes. One joke that a friend of mine, I'm not gonna put on blast just because it's just about the joke more than it's about the name. He says, he is a manager. He said, you know what I hate about artists? They take 80% of my money.
Wow.
And the other joke they had is, what would we do if artists figured out their own distribution? And the punchline is, we'd have to kill them. So I'll be surprised that I'm still alive every day.
How did you not so-called disappear? Like, because that's a hell of a fight.
Because I'm God. And anyone that disagree, I'm the God of me, and you can't tell me who I am. I can't tell y'all. I could tell y'all. It's y'all job to listen. I'm the God of me. I don't know if I'm in heaven already and shit. I got number 1 from that. For all you know, I might be on like a 4th dimension version of the lifestyle. I don't know. Like I said, I must have died in this accident. It must be heaven. I feel like, there's people, tech guys and shit like Shervin or Elon. Elon always says, whatever would be the funniest outcome is what should happen. He's just thinking like, what is the most insane version of something? And that's the version that should happen. My boy Shervin said, God or alien or universal, whatever happens, it feels like victory favors the brave. Like the people that lean into it, that give, because it's all like ears. It just threats at the end of the day. It's like, why should you fear? It's another thing I don't like in Christianity, the fear of God. If God is love, why should you fear him? Because you place one fear, you get another fear, you get another fear. What do you have at that point? You're easily controllable. You're easily sellable. You're easily contracted because you have this fear on you. Like, everybody gonna die eventually, but I'm gonna live my entire life with 0 fear. Fear of a contract, fear of perception, fear of getting my black card denied. Fear. I'm not gonna jump in front of a train.
Right.
Be conscious.
Right.
Ain't nobody finna tell me shit, call me shit, tell nobody around me shit, play with me, play with nobody around me. None of that. It's straight from Pink Polo. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm a lawyer from Carlito's Way. I'm fried at this point. Fuck every label, fuck every contract, fuck any type of phone calls. We number one. It's fuck everybody. You better not bring your bitch around.
Right. And what do you think numbers? What do you think Vultures 2 and 3
It's
look
gonna
like?
be more fuck yous.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but real talk on that talk. Like, it's if you get something where you say, man, we really put the work in on this,
Yeah.
and the people chose this album to be number one. You know what I'm saying? So that right there shows you that it's totally up to the people, or the consumer, whatever it is. But if you make good product, people will find that. You know what I'm saying? And now, Ye, with everything that goes on, now I see North. You know what I'm saying? Do you shield your baby girl from the tuition into the school of experience that you paid with the business?
Man, you know what's so beautiful about just the timing? The fact that I done figured out at least some aspect of the label. She ain't gotta sell her name and her rights, and she can communicate directly with her fan base. She got a huge, she run the grammar schools. She definitely a number one artist in all her age bracket. And I just
Hell,
be
my
like,
age bracket.
there you go.
Right?
I'm like, let me look at them contracts, and we gotta simplify the contracts. That them contracts is in Yiddish, and we don't really know who we are. We so separated. You know, Ty Dolla got Indian in his family. My grandmother is named Chick. She was half Indian. But when was the last time you heard of that? Oh, was that politically incorrect to say Indian? I got Indian. I can say Indian. I'm a black person. I could say nigga. You know, so. All of that, when you remove all that information, you remove the fathers, every father, the grandfather, your father, and the father of the current child, the baby daddy. You remove all them fathers, and then they'll remove God, they'll remove Jesus too. And they'll give us Kwanzaa and Martin Luther King. No contract study, nothing financial. None of that. Even one of my favorite ones that Deion Sanders like pointed out, it's like all the people that's recruited to the athlete. You know this story, right? If they got a father, they don't even look at them. They gonna hands off. It has to be only the mother.
The story, the hardship.
Only mother, because that recruit is more. And the thing in general, women are protectors. So. A man will go out to war and give his life for a vision. Sit there like rapping like whoop that trick, you know what I'm saying, for a vision of something. All of the men have been strategically removed, and there's immediate, like Instagram, immediate gratification, immediate acknowledgement. And with that immediacy, you can't rebuild the communities and create the position. When the you-know-who's give us the contract, it's not immediate, it's 7 years, it's 10 years, it's a lifetime. And you get 30 of them, you're like, oh, I got these contracts, I got all these artists. What's the value? What's the value universe? So you got a Drake as a lifetime deal. What's the value of Vivendi? And this is me. I don't know about this shit as well as I know about it 10 years from now.
Right.
Me willing, I'll be still alive. Because it's up to me if I'm still alive. I would kill myself. Yeah, if I felt like it, it's up to me. And people say God willing, me willing, then I'm still alive. I will understand this better, and I'm gonna provide things for y'all that simplify these contracts. Right now, I have no say-so over Yeezy, over the shoes, in broad day, Adidas, Harvey Weinstein, one of the biggest artists, and people just sit back and look at the Michael Jackson video of him saying, they looked at my buttocks, and they could just go make jokes and go on with their day. That's why this number one is a fuck. everybody. Yo, you know, one of the greatest things that we in World War III. Instagram is World War III. It's digital. We exist in the mental and the meta. We have a famous one. Instagram got your bit. You know what I'm saying? We already existing in World War III. It's a digital meta mind war of perception, cancellation, this many numbers. Oh, it's a rap. They touring ain't doing good. Let's turn down they touring. Let's turn this down. Oh, we like this artist now. We can turn this down. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right. And this
like,
one we can turn up.
And everybody's like, well, I want you to be smiling your photo. Nigga, we are in war right now. 50% of black deaths is abortion. We kill ourselves. That's psychological warfare. We don't buy no land. We doped out, we fried out. Everything that we promote is about the destruction of what we're doing. We are at war. Don't think World War III is that. You know who told me? The fucking trainer told me that. Harley. Why he told me that? Because he thought I was a monkey. He thought I wouldn't understand what he was saying. He thought he was talking to a chimpanzee because he an MK Ultra educated person and I'm a college dropout that dedicated my life to art and music. But there's some kind of gut, sight beyond sight. There's leaders, chiefs, kings. Why do you think so many rappers be called kings? They call kings because they are truly that, but our kingdom has been sold by contracts. Look, I know y'all want to say something positive right now, man. Let's talk about like, y'all.
Shit, man, I told you this is the conversation, but I was asking about even with North and elementary school dropout. You gave us college dropout, which was, you know, amazing for us. How close to your daughters, really, in not just in fatherhood, but in business, will y'all remain next to your babies so they don't have to go through this business? Because you could love the music, y'all love the music, but sometimes it's different to say I love the music business, correct?
Yeah. As a father, you gotta like.
Your dad was in the music business.
Yeah, pops. Yeah, man.
Lakeside.
Lakeside. Hello.
You know, I learned more outside, but he definitely gave me that first step.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a father, you gotta like, whatever you learn, teach. You know, if you don't do that, you ain't a good father.
Right.
So everything I went through.
Are y'all afraid of y'all kids getting into this business, or you feel like I got my babies? Because, like I said, I paid a lot of tuition into the School of Experience.
I'm not afraid. If that's what she wanted to do, I would just coach her.
Right.
You know?
What about with North as well?
You know, she gonna be like them, you know, with them 4 kids right there. I'm working on more kids, but with them 4 kids right there, it's like the first 2 got to see and know they daddy. They got to know a black person that wasn't only an employee. That dynamic is so, the effect that it has on the meta stage of stage of a child's life between 5 and, 12, to only see your color as an employee and never see your color, because you're taught the color in the school. They wouldn't even be knowing it was about a color unless that was taught to you. So I will say color because it's taught. This is red, is this, everybody. The effect that it has to not see a person of your color be able to make a final decision will make you feel that you're never able to make a final decision. I asked North, I said, how many times are you in a situation where it's people that don't look like you telling you how you need to sell something to people that look like you? You know, if I was a farmer or a cow herder or like a hunter, if I took my 10-year-old out, I gotta show him where the snakes is. I gotta show him him or her how to protect themselves. And this is the things where I can stand up proudly and say, you know what? I lost $8 billion. Adidas is raping me right in front of everybody's face, and ain't nobody doing nothing about it as usual. And we still gonna get that money back and still be in a better position than Adidas someday. You know, as people who work, I got Jewish friends that'll say, like I got this friend, Udi, he works in the shoe industry, and he's like, man, I don't never want my kids, you know, people always say, I don't never want my kids to have to do what I had to do.
Yeah.
What I had to do. But some of that they gotta do. It's interesting. I think about my relationships, like I do not have the best relationships in the music industry. I do not harness them. I do not foster them. I don't give a fuck about them. And then it's like that, and then my daughter gonna pull up to all these backstage areas, and I'll be back again. Oh my God, I'm back again. And it's gonna be like, and I gotta be there for like not get to be there
Right.
for my daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she gonna wanna, like, we got a TV performance and some shit like that, you know, that I just thought about that. I was like, man, did I tell you about that TV performance? You know, nigga say some shit halfway through.
Ty like, oh, okay, we got that.
That's like a nigga that owe you money and they show you their new jacket. Like, man, I just got this from my cousin.
Yeah. You know, I won't get that to you though. Everything is tax time though, man. Taxes coming, man. I won't get that back to you. With Vultures, and we see, you know, we see Rolling Loud, we see shows that's coming. We see and we had a chance to briefly talk about this too, Ye. But these are also like experiences.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, like we went to and I saw a listening party, but there's experiences where it's like, you say, man, we don't even really touch a mic right now at this, and I call it an experience because that's one of them things where you say, man, I don't know what I was doing there, but I walked out of it and I enjoyed it. And I'd never seen anything like that before. Is that what those experiences are right now? It's not just getting on stage, check, and doing the song. What does that Vultures experience look like to you?
It's still better than other people's shows that have a mic. But what I noticed a while ago is like, there could be a band on a festival and they go up there and kill it. And then there's a DJ that just goes out there solo, never grabs a mic, they pay him way more. And like, you know what I mean? So you can still do it without grabbing a mic, you know, it's a way. And we found a new way, and just from even the way that the lights are to the way that the smoke is coming out, all that is the show, you know? Like you gonna see tonight.
What I saw, was that 2 days ago when we were in San Fran? We were sitting there and we turned on the smoke and the lights. I was like, wow. The smoke is like an opener.
Yeah.
Just the way the lights itself is like an opener, something to bring people into just a different experience. I remember sitting in front of we had an opening at our Melrose store, and we were giving away these T-shirts that we had, that I was happy about the fabric. It was like a real interesting cut. It was like a one-size-fits-all, unisex. And I'm sitting in a car in front of it, and I'm feeling like anxious, like, man, are people getting enough out of this? I'm gonna walk away. And my boy DP came up to me and said, man, you know, people, they just came for the experience. They just came for the experience, for us to understand what is really needed. It's like, even look at this style of architecture behind us. Like in the McMansions and stuff, we got all this crown molding, gold faucets, extra bedrooms, and then themed, it's a Fendi bedroom or something like all this stuff that, you know, we don't need. And I'm like the best tattoo artist with the worst tattoos or something. Like I done been through, I would not suggest this for anyone.
Right.
Kind of things.
Don't point at the wall.
Yeah. To be able to make a suggestion. We talking about the process with music. Also, like I remember doing like encore for Jay-Z. And because I had some experience on stage, I could help him make a hologram in his mind to envision exactly what would happen when he plays it. Like right now, we need a Vultures chant because people sitting there waiting and the crowd wants to hear their voice together like they hear on Carnival. So just have some Vultures, because right now they just saying, fuck Adidas.
Right. And with you, is that something that you thinking? Yeah, I know. Shit, I know. Hey man, when you hear that right? And you see that there is a support, and even if it is, fuck Adidas, you know what I'm saying? When you see that, are y'all afraid of the power too?
Always change the beginning of that "Are you afraid?" part. Let's reword that, because the answer will always be no if the beginning of the question is "Are you
Gotcha.
afraid?" All right.
Does that scare you?
It will always be no if it has to do with scare or fear.
And just the power of that. Do you know how powerful? Like, power is also a gift and a curse. Do you know how powerful you guys are? Not just in entertainment, but period.
Mainly because of the independent stance.
Even more so now?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we up there.
Yeah, because he didn't take none of the, shit talking and threats to his career, and won. It's like a movie,
Did you ever think, Ty, maybe not, and keep it, not all keep it real, but it's got to weigh on you, like, especially people that you feel are looking out for you. Did you ever question, like, man, maybe I shouldn't?
Nah, I always saw, just watching him as a fan, going to the top, doing something to come down here, going to the top again, doing something to come down. And every time you go back to the top, everybody starts sucking dick again. So I already knew it was gonna happen, Now I'm swinging my dick.
Right, yeah. Hey, man, and when you say, man, like, damn, it's a real fuck you, and that's the exhale,
Yeah.
And before we had a chance to sit down, man, we were talking about the listening party that I went to that night. And I'm gonna put it out, bro. You told me, and if you don't mind my talking about it, you said, man, that it warmed your heart to see me there. And I really took that like, bro, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I gotta ask you as well, why?
I mean, it just, it's like Wizard of Oz, like the same people, the exact characters that were in Dorothy's life in real life were also there when she traveled to Oz, and were also there when she came back from the dream. And it felt like when I was sitting there, it was like, and you were there? And you were there?
Yeah.
And you were there? It just felt like I had come back from this Oz dream thing. I'm in a foreign country, walking around with no shoes on, no bank account. Like, I remember the day. And also because of, you were there the night before I went to the hospital. You were there at Sunday services, and we serving food afterwards. You were there when I was like super religious at Sierra Canyon, saying like, man, these soccer moms, they don't need to be wearing all these tights.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
For me, I hit you up. I'm like, everything I ever did in LA, you always been there,
With me, radio is my job. You know what I'm saying? I'm a human being first.
Yeah.
And with you, bro, we've had some amazing quiet times. The interviews that people can just go and you can look at, fine, I take those.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of quiet times. I've been at the house, you've been at my house, we've sat and had long conversations, we've sat in silence, and our silence speaks volumes, and so at one point, bro, me and you had what I felt was not even a misunderstanding. I felt a certain way towards our relationship. And I'm not sure if you felt that same way towards our relationship. And we've never, and this isn't the place to talk about it because we never talked about it really, but I fucked with you and I continue to fuck with you on a personal level. And that's totally different from, man, when does the album come out? When does the such and such come out? You know what I'm saying? Like, so at one point when, and just to keep it real with you, at one point when we did have, a conversation that we both didn't feel comfortable with. And can I explain what happened? Okay. So we're at a listening party. And this is for all these fake ass bloggers out there, and I don't go on social media. I've never been on Facebook in my life, none of that shit, right? But when shit hits your radar, it penetrates your radar, and then that's when you gotta address shit. I don't talk about nothing. Even when we had a situation, I didn't go on air to speak about it. I didn't say drop a record. All right, cool. I know that I'll sit with my guy, my brother, once again. I don't even know if you know what went down, Ty.
No.
We're at the listening party. Not even a listening party, it's just a small little listening thing, right? And without going into details, I value my relationship with you. There were some things that were being said in the room that I was like, do everybody feel the same way about this brother that I do? And I didn't think so. Maybe I was out of place to even think that I was closer to this man than other people in this room. So things were being said, and I told my guy that I've said to him many a times before, you know, and there's been times we were talking, I say, you probably don't want to say that. Yeah, I'm glad you said that to me instead of somebody else. This is just at the house or whatever, right? So when I'm hearing these things, I tell my guy, I say, hey man, don't let nobody knock you off your square. You remember that conversation? Mm-hmm. Don't let nobody knock you off your square. All right, boom. It's still being said, I'm looking, I like, you know, because we're in a good place. We listening to music, all this shit. Don't let nobody knock you off your square. So then it becomes this thing, I don't need advice, you know, and it gets a little loud. I get asked to leave. My guy, his spot, I get asked to leave. Doc and I, we leave. Jose, we leave. I'm sure that I'm going to talk to him again. You know what I'm saying? It took a minute. We talked. There was no hate. There's no fuck his record, fuck him, fuck that. Even in your lowest, bro, when people thought you're at your lowest, I sent you energy. My kids love you. My wife love you. So when I said, man, don't let nobody knock you off your square, I'm looking out after my brother. So for me to be asked to leave, I felt like, damn, man. But I never said fuck Kanye. Because if I say fuck Kanye, that's forever. I was just like, damn, that shit felt crazy. Talk to my wife, talk to my homies. All right, we'll catch up. That's why when I saw you that night, and when you said to me, man, thank you for coming, I don't think you know what that meant to me. Because and this is me with my fuck you. I don't know if you saw when I left that day. I left. But then I'm hearing, oh yeah, you know, they made Big do this and I'm a man, bro. I'm a man with motherfucking kids, homie. I'm a man from LA, a black man that's not defensive, that's not offensive, but my defense is motherfucking immaculate. And no man on this planet scares me. No man. I'm looking at some shit somebody sent to me. I didn't even watch the whole thing. Yeah, I heard people snatched them up and they grabbed them and they threw them out and they did this. No one touched me.
People extra, bro. They're going to tell you anything, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah, no one touched me. And I just want to go on record to let people know, as I'm sitting here with you today, and I'm glad you gave me this chance to speak about it, bro. No one touched me. Ain't no bitch in me. Ain't no coward in me. I left out. I was asked to leave. What am I supposed to do? All right, cool. This your spot. I'm out. I was never on no fuck yay shit, but we had a chance to talk about it. And I'm glad we have a chance to talk about it now. And this is my fuck you to everybody that thought this couldn't happen. This is my fuck you to everybody that thought there's no man or woman on earth that ever touched me and didn't feel the wrath of Kurt Alexander, Ida's motherfucking son. And that's real shit. So to the person or people, I don't know how many people said it, fuck you. It never happened and it never will. And if you think it happened, you do it. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know I fucks with you, bro. Yeah. But I had to get that off of me, bro. I had to, and I've been waiting. You know what I'm saying, man? And thank you for giving me that opportunity too, homie. Because I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. I was a little pissed. You know what I'm saying? I was a little pissed, but we grown men, bro. And Now that's
I'm
gonna
happy we all here,
no,
bro.
and that's real, man, and that's real. And even people was like, man, you gonna bring it up? Like, and my shit is small. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk to everybody, bro. I don't trust everybody. I ain't fucking with people. You know what I'm saying?
As you're talking about it, as I'm reflecting on it, I feel that me asking y'all to leave was from a place of love, meaning like, yo, I'm on one. I'm dealing with this right here. I don't want y'all to deal with it, to see it, to be in between it, to give me no advice on it, to steer me left or right on it. That's what I was thinking about at this time. That because it's like what I was saying. It's like I am the leader. This is the reason why I made so many. I said this to Noriega. I said it's like everybody knows I'm the leader. I am the king, but then it be people who don't want to see it that way, or have other people that are control their bank account, or control their job, or control my kids, or control my all of this. And people say, oh, he's crazy, he's this, he's that, it's volatile. But at a certain point, I'd be in a situation, like we had the Brazilian producer yesterday, and I was just telling him stuff about things I want to change, and he started telling me why it was good. I was like, wait a second. The reason why the albums are number one, the reason why it's this is because I specifically say this is this, is this, is this, is this. And there's certain type of situations where, like I said, my grandfather jumps through my body, I start channeling something. And it's more like a LeBron, like, get out the hole, I'm about to dunk kind of thing than it is like anything. Because, you know, like I said, one of the reasons why I was like thrilled that you were there is because of all those situations, but it wasn't that situation that I was talking about. I was talking about when you was at my house the day before I went to the hospital, and I was raising my voice. At that point, I don't remember exactly what it was about, but
At the house?
yeah.
I remember.
I don't know exactly, but you gotta understand whether it's like Britney Spears, the TMZ, the 30-mile zone. You know, I'm like Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter can explain to you why he's locked up, and he also can break out whenever he feels like it. So obviously, I can break out whenever I feel like it. A big thing I had to learn over this past year and a half is to not expect anything from anyone, but also, nigga better not expect nothing from me. You know, gotta be like, man, you ain't do this, you ain't do this. Whatever you want. And it's like, you should do it. I'm like, no. You know, we are all our own person, you know, so.
Hey, man, I do want to ask something about the music as well. When we think about Vultures. Now, we've seen Playboy, we've seen Rich the Kid, which I fucking love. Rich the Kid in a position that he's in right now, and possibly, you know, from what I'm hearing, there's going to be executive producing from you guys as well. But what's next on 2 and 3? And it's almost like with you, Ty, it's like there's people I know that want to fuck with Ye. But you know how sometimes you push somebody else to go, and then when they clear the minds, then you can just come through, you know, second or third. Yeah. When y'all did Vultures and the collaborations that you have on that, are those by design? And what happens in the next installments?
With features and shit like that, how I look at it, I don't know what he thinks, but I always looked at features and how I use features is the same way I would use a drum sound, or I would use a bass sound, or a synth sound, or whatever. You know, whatever fits the song, that's what I'm gonna call. Whatever frequency they got that I feel that would match the song, that's how, you know what I'm saying? With Rich, it was like we was in Saudi. He called me, he was like, I'm in Dubai, what's up, what y'all got going? I'm like, we just out here recording and shit. He was like, I got an off day. I'm like, pull up. He pulled up. We got all these different villas in the city called Alula. He comes in my room. We do 2 songs that day. 2 of them is, one of them is Carnival. I was hesitant playing Carnival for him because at the time he was like, no hi-hats on the whole album, no 808s on the whole album.
Yeah.
Right, and this song was like fully like turned up. So it wasn't until we got to Vegas where we pressed play and he loved it immediately, got on the mic, did his verse, which is one of my favorite verses. And then it went from that to taking the beat, changing the whole melody to where he laid this crazy one. And then it went from there to getting the Hooligans to do that part. And then Cardi got on the record and now it's like something new. So I would say that's what the goal is for Vultures 2 and Vultures 3. Always elevating, always taking, like, if you ask me the question what I think about music, I feel like I don't want to diss anybody, but at the same time, it's like y'all niggas got to get better. It's like people always copy the next shit. It's like so many, like 10 songs of the same thing of each different
We
type of
always
beat.
think we're looking for the next or the sloppy carbon copy.
Yeah. And it's
Every
like,
copy is a sloppy carbon copy, bro.
yeah, so to me it's about elevating, and I don't want to do nothing that I ever did before, you know?
Man, and that's another one of them things, man, when we say the whole fuck you thing, the F you thing, it's like, just trust the process too sometimes, and then just watch. Just trust the process and then watch, you know? Have you been...
Start the song with that. I know the trust, the process. Oh, we're talking about shit for
No, shit, do that shit.
Go ahead, though.
You need me to come in and do that part?
Yeah.
Hey, man, like I told you, bro, I thought I was on Pablo. I was in that studio, I was like, oh, man, I'm on Pablo. And I tell people even on air, I'm like, man, I love to watch you create a song. Because there'll be a song, and even with like 30 hours, like I love how with that you left things that you probably seen in the studio for a long time. We just like, but 30 hours, people got a chance to hear it, but others had a chance to kind of see it. And I remember one time, bro, I was in the studio with you, and you're like, yeah, and you was, my name came up, and I was like, oh shit. I'm on Pablo. Man, I got Pablo. I was nowhere on Pablo. You know what I'm saying? But also, bro, I was talking with your engineers at the listening party that night. And somebody was like, yeah, man, I think I got a beat on probably on 2. But you never know if you actually made the project until the project is out. You know what I'm saying?
That ain't shit, man. I didn't even make the cover of Vultures 1.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a nice cover, though. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine going to him and say, okay, so I know we did this group album for like a year.
Right? Yeah, blood, sweat, and tears.
You know, and he accepted to do this cover without, we didn't even have the concept of what the next cover was. We were like, I believe this is, I said, we were like, I believe this is the strongest image for that. And then we're sitting in Paris, and I'm sitting with my wife, and I'm sitting with my visual director, Oz, and we're sitting in the Ritz. And I think it's like Pharrell, he pulled up, a few people was hanging out, and we're just drawing, and there's a sketch, original sketch, we should put this sketch out. And came to this idea of like Ty holding TC, his brother that's locked up. And when that cover, that idea came, it impacted our approach to what we were gonna do musically. A visual, the big word now is like sentiment. The sentiment made even the first cover stronger.
Right.
And then the Vultures project stronger. And the music it helped guide the direction of music on where we're going on Vultures 2 and 3. And we still haven't decided to cover for 3. That's where we're in it. Like you talk about something making it or not making it at the last minute. I told my boy, Dove Charney, who's our head of production that created American Apparel, now he has Los Angeles Apparel. And I remember being on the phone with him one time and saying, man, I know it's last minute. And he said, it's always the best minute.
Yeah.
It's always the best. Like what we did the last week, like the verse on problematic. Like, cause there'll be time we got different writers we work with, a bunch of talented people, and I'd be like, yo, Ty, you gotta help finish this. You gotta finish this up because he gonna say hot shit. Like he said, you know, she just wanna fuck in the Bottega store, huh? I was like, man, we need to make a challenge for people to see if they can fuck in the Bottega store. We need to make a Bottega store challenge. But who even gonna think of some shit like that? She just wanna fuck in the Bottega store. It's like something as simple as that. I remember when I worked with Party. What's the guy's name that used to date Meg Thee Stallion, a writer? Party.
Partisan Fontaine.
Partisan Fontaine.
Yeah.
I heard on Cardi B's album, he said, "I gotta stay out the Gucci store. I'm finna run out of hangers." But I liked those thoughts together. So it could be something as simple as like say Ty's verse on Vultures. It's so, he said, I just bought a bag and I filled it with loose change. Like this.
Hey, man,
what?
do y'all compliment each other? Not in a battle wise, but do y'all know y'all compliment each other when it comes to music? Like, do you know, like, oh yeah, this gonna get him with this. This gonna get him.
Wait a second, man. I was just thinking, we might have to say some more rap lines because I'm not finna have that, you know that thing where they got Swiss beats where he say a rap line? What he say, but the rap line is real bad.
Oh.
And Angela G, she like take a sip to keep from laughing when he said the line. he said like, what he said, I'm poison so I can poise on.
Oh yeah.
You know that way? And then Angela was like,
Hey man, what's one? Did you ever catch the one with Safari when he was rapping for Charlemagne? And just Charlemagne go, nah, that's not it, bro.
Not it, man.
he used to be saying fresh. He was there with like, you know what's so messed up is like, he didn't really know they was together. So he's down doing Dark Fantasy and he in the studio. I'm just thinking she with a bad bitch. I'm like, yo, Safari, you think Nicki will let me and Amber hit like what she said? This her man. Like, you gotta make these raps true. Yeah. Think me, you, and Am should menage Friday. I'm like,
Hey man, I'm glad we did.
hey, send your girl, ask your girl, can I get her number?
Hey bro, I can't wait to see what's next. You know what I'm saying? Of course, 1, 2, 3, you know what I'm saying? And beyond, bro. But it was very necessary for us to sit down, bro. This felt so good. I appreciate now, Ty, bro, you know, way back Similac, hello.
Whoa,
Same
man,
with you, yeah.
appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for giving me this chance and this opportunity to just sit down. And I know y'all could have sat down with anyone in the world. And I mean, because that's what I'm telling you, bro. Like, there's times when I look up and y'all treat the world like it's fucking a city over. I look up and you guys are like, oh yeah, man, you know, they're right here and you just flew in from Italy. You flew in from Paris. So y'all could have really been anywhere in the world, bro, and sat with anyone. And I thank you guys for sitting down with me, man. This is my 30-year anniversary. You guys made this so special to me. This is like my kickoff, like my real kickoff interview for like my 30th year, bro, and I couldn't think of anyone else to sit down with, and this one made sense. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue to shock the world, bro. Yeah. And I see you don't have no real hands to hold your tongue, so don't hold it. You know what I'm saying? Best believe that, man.
All I got the Titanic. Yeah. And I would say I appreciate you, and I appreciate Doc. He over there, you know.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate both y'all.
Man, do you remember one time I was at a you was calling me, and I was looking, and I was like, oh shit, yay, damn, yay. I answered the phone, and I'm at Coachella, and you hear, and you like, Big, I need you out here. I'm like, where you at? He was like, man, I'm in Africa. I'm like, you in Africa? I'm like, bro, I'm at Coachella. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, I need you out here. I'm like, yay. I can't go to Africa. You're like, I'm gonna put a plane and come on out here. And I'm like, bro, to Africa? I don't have nothing. I'm saying everything not to go. I'm not packed. We'll shop when you get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a plane, man. Other motherfuckers, like, Ani, everybody was like, oh, I would have jumped on that plane. You know what I'm saying? No, I didn't go. But you know what that is too, bro? Yeah. That's what you're talking about right now too, man. And no disrespect, Doc. That's the freedom Now, I didn't want to leave my family, but that's the freedom of not being able to go because I had to be at work.
Okay, can I just sit in this seat right now? I'm gonna just change seats right now, and I'm gonna be you from what you just said.
Okay.
I just want to say, you know, I sat down with Ye, and I want to just tell all y'all niggas here, fuck all of y'all, I'm headed to Africa.
Hello! Man, I appreciate you, bro. Leave it up here. Yay! Dollar sign. There it is, y'all. Boom. What did y'all learn today?
A lot of shit.